Named after Confederate General Benjamin Huger, Fort Huger was part of the rebel defensive system used to protect the lower James River from invasion by the Union Navy. The construction of the fort on Hardy's Bluff began in July of 1861. By March of 1862, Fort Huger had been armed with 13 smooth-bore weapons, one 10-inch Columbiad, 4 9-inch Dahlgren shell guns, 2 8-inch Columbiads, all on barbette carriages, 6 hotshot 32-pounders on ship carriages, plus a hotshot furnace. Southeast of the fort at the other end of Burwell's Bay was Fort Boykin, which dated back to 1623. Fort Boykin was originally used to protect the English colonists against Spanish intruders and later saw action during the American Revolution and the War of 1812. Across the James River from Fort Huger was another rebel battery located at the end of Mulberry Point and was supported by nearby Fort Crawford. These 3 batteries, along with the powerful Confederate ram CSS Virginia patrolling off Norfolk and the Southern forces under General Magruder, posted at Yorktown, kept the Federals at bay until the spring of 1862. In early April of 1862, a large Federal army under General McClellan advanced up the peninsula opposite Fort Huger. McClellan stopped his army outside of Yorktown after spotting the Confederate defenses across the peninsula, and he ordered the construction of siege works. The Confederates reacted by consolidating their forces, including General Huger's troops guarding Norfolk, which were ordered to fall back to Petersburg on April 27. The siege of Yorktown ended on May 4 when Magruder withdrew his forces back toward Williamsburg, abandoning the battery on Mulberry Point. On May 8, 1862, the James River Flotilla, under the command of John Rodgers, ascended the river in hopes of reducing the 2 remaining forts on Burwell's Bay. Fort Boykin was quickly put out of action, and the Union fleet then moved on to attack Fort Huger. Some of the Union warships were able to slip upstream past the fort during the assault, but the rest retreated after they had expended most of their ammunition. Yankee forces from Fort Monroe crossed Hampton Roads to occupy the city of Norfolk on May 10, accompanied by President Lincoln. The rebels blew up the CSS Virginia on May 11 to prevent its capture when it was discovered that its draft was too deep for it to venture further upriver. With the threat from the CSS Virginia gone, more Union gunboats, including the ironclad USS Monitor, would return to Fort Huger on May 12. During the bombardment, the rest of Rodgers' James River Flotilla were able to sail upriver to attack the Confederate capital at Richmond. Union Navy Flag Officer Goldsborough, commanding the North Atlantic Blockading Squadron from Hampton Roads, was concerned that the 2 forts would still be able to target unarmed Union supply ships as Rodgers had neglected to send a shore party to capture the forts. On May 15, Rodgers' fleet would be repulsed in their attack on Richmond by a Confederate battery located on Drury's Bluff, which overlooks the James River just 7 miles south of the capital. When a Marine landing party sent by Goldsborough came ashore at Fort Huger on May 17, they found that the guns had been spiked and the fort abandoned. Today, you can visit Fort Huger located in the historic Isle of Wight County in Virginia.